This is We the Sales Engineers Podcast, show 305.
Welcome to We the SEs Podcast, the show for sales engineers by sales engineers with your host, Ramsey Majaba.
What's up, SE Nation? Welcome back to another episode. I am your host, Ramsey Majaba, in case you didn't know that, and I've been in sales for almost 10 years now. It'll be 10 years in July. Before that, I was a network design engineer, but that's neither here nor there, I guess. I felt like sharing that with you. But anyways, I live in Canada, in case you didn't know. And Canada is a very small, at least in Ottawa, is a very small community of SEs. There are some that I'm lucky to have become friends with. But I know the struggles of SEs in a small community where we don't have people to bounce ideas off usually. And that's the genesis of this podcast, right? I didn't know what I was doing, and I started a podcast so that I learn if I'm doing things the right way and the wrong way. And now, our guest today, his name is Alvaro Tuscano and Perez, according to his LinkedIn, and he's based out of Spain. And some of the struggles that he's faced as an SE are similar to mine in the sense that Spain is a small community of SEs. Yes, it is within the greater Europe, but it doesn't necessarily translate properly. So when I talk to Alvaro today, we talk about a lot of these topics about like the struggles of being an SE in a small community, how to build a community of SEs within a country, and how he overcame that. And I love this conversation. And we also focus on the sales part of, like, obviously this is We the Sales Engineers. We don't talk about the technology here. We talk about the human side, but we specifically talk about the sales side, like not just the sales engineering part of the human part of sales engineering, specifically sales. Now that I've confused you enough, how about we jump into the show and hopefully get unconfused? Oh, how do you say it? I just said it in Spanish. I'm blanking on it. How do you say hello?
Hola.
In Spanish? Hola. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno is Italiano. In Spanish is hola.
Oh my god. Hola. All right. ¿Cómo está? That's also... No, that's Spanish. I got that one. All right. This is a good start. How are you doing?
Well, not bad. Doing well. Just finishing the week as you know, and have been so grateful for being here with you today, Ramsey.
Yeah, I'm grateful for you spending the time with me. I know you had some family commitments, but
sure.
We figured it out. So, for those who don't know you, Alvaro, one, how do you say your name properly? And two, who are you?
My name properly is Alvaro, with the accent in the first A. Not Alvaro, not Alvaro, not the guy with the glasses or the strange accent. Alvaro is the name. And well, I'm father of three, two girls and a boy, a husband. Of a wonderful woman. So, and how explain who I am? I like to explain that I am Jon Snow. So, Ramsey, this is nothing to see with being immortal, with resurrection, or riding dragons. But if you remember Jon Snow in the Game of Thrones film, you can remember him as a person who was loyal, who was someone that you can trust, and someone with a true sense of honor. And this is how I like to define myself when not only when talking with customer but also when being a person that at the end of the day is what we are during all day long.
So you're Jon Snow of the pre-sales.
More or less. We can say that I am the Lord Commander.
Okay. For those of you who haven't watched Game of Thrones, why? And two, don't watch the last season. But I don't think I'm saying anything controversial there. Did you watch the last season?
I have been watching all the season several times. So because my wife started to see the Game of Thrones later than me, and she was sleeping the first chapters a few times. So I was able to remember all of them several times.
Okay. My wife stopped watching Game of Thrones after the Red Wedding. She's like, I'm done. She wanted to stop after the first episode. I kind of said, oh, come on, just watch the few other ones. So she did. She loved it, and then after the red wedding,
The red wedding is well, it's a strong episode.
Yes, it was a very strong episode. All right, so this is how you define yourself as a pre-sales or as a human being. What do you do? Like, how did you? What was your journey into pre-sales?
It's nice that you ask, because it's a strange when you realize that you are a pre-sales. In fact, I became from software development. I was a software developer, a mobile software developer 10 years ago. That is when I moved to the pre-sales role. And I was working for a company developing mobile applications, and I was using something that was called Titanium. That was a multi-platform software, and I was the only one, I think the only one in Spain that was using that. So I talked to that company. That company called me and say, okay, we want you to be the evangelist, the Titan in Spain for our solution. And suddenly another big company bought this product to the original company. So what happened? In Spain, nobody knows a word about this product. And as I was the evangelist, the company that is called Axway called me to do a few demos for them. So what happened later on is that they tell me, okay, do you want to come with us as pre-sales? And the first question that I have, Ramsey, is what the hell is a pre-sales? I think nobody knows what a pre-sales is. So I was like Neo in Matrix, just to take the red pill or the blue one and say, okay, we have come to play. Let's take the red pill and let's see what happens.
Okay, so I feel like there's going to be a lot of movie references today, which is so just so I understand it, you were still a developer when you became an evangelist for the other company, which was then bought by Axway.
Exactly.
And then you kind of did why did they invite you to do demos?
No, because as I was the evangelist of the solution, I was in contact with the company to run some webinars or some meetups for the rest of developers.
As a customer evangelist.
Well, I was for B2C evangelist, just to tell the people, okay, use this platform to develop your own applications. And then they started to see something special or something that they like in the way that I was explaining. I was communicating the usage of the solution. So that's why they told me, okay, come with us. And since then, I am here working as pre-sales.
Okay, so you took the red pill.
I took the red one.
Okay, and so how, like, when we talk about the Matrix, Neo had Morpheus, he had Trinity to show him the way, the Oracle, and all that. A lot of times SEs take the red pill and then they're just dropped to figure it out. How did you figure out what pre-sales is? What support system did you have, if you had any? And yeah, let's just stop there.
Well, I was extremely lucky because my partner in crime, the sales account that I was working with, was delightful to work with him, and he explained me a lot of things. But let me tell you something even better. When I joined Axway, so the first day that I joined Axway, I went to the new office working as pre-sales. That still don't know what it is. The guy who was going to be my boss on pre-sales, the pre-sales manager, called me to his room and say, okay, Alvaro, welcome. And the first thing that I have to say to you is that I am leaving the company today. So I felt exactly as you defined before. I was dropped off in the water and saying, okay, so let's see what we can do. So, but as I was mentioning, fortunately, the sales account man helped me a lot. Just saying, okay, Alvaro, I want you to do this in that way. Just do your stuff, but we need to cover this and that. But the most important thing that I miss, Ramsey, apart from from clear information of what a pre-sale have to do in Spanish, because there is nothing in Spanish, is how to be better pre-sales. So because there is very few training available exclusively for pre-sales, because all the companies send you, okay, this is the sales guide you have to use, this is marketing guides that you have to use, but nobody helps you to start working in fact as pre-sale. No, the fact is nobody can explain what you have to do. So that is the big issue that we have.
Yeah, I mean, we had the same issue in English. Right? There wasn't much about pre-sales in general.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is why I started We the Sales Engineers. It's only after I started We the Sales Engineers that I found John Kerr, that I found Bob Brightstall, Demo to Win book. So yeah, I mean, I can see that happening. And how is there's a lot of SEs in the United States and Canada, even though we didn't know what sales engineering was for a while. What's the pre-sales community like in Spain?
The pre-sales community in Spain is not so big, and the problem with the Spanish community, and it's something that I think it's my fault, because I have been trying to improve the pre-sales community in Spain since a few years ago, is that we are not so active. It seems that we are so shy to say, okay, we are pre-sales, and it is something that I am trying to improve and to change, but it's costing a lot to start this movement, to have, for instance, I was also ambassador from the Presales Collective just for Spain, together, for instance, with Amanda Bertucci, that maybe you know her. But it's been difficult for us to engage with the rest of presales. And I think it's because we don't have a real culture about the presales environment, about the presales world, or well, it's something hard to start being a real community. But in numbers, we are not so big, but we are not so small neither, because we have huge companies here in Spain. We have Oracle based in Spain. We have Microsoft. We have SAP, Salesforce. So we have a lot of companies that have based in Spain, and with teams of presale that are also huge.
Why has it been a challenge?
Sorry?
Why has it been a challenge to build that community?
Why? Interesting question. I think that is not so attractive for them to share, or I was not able to do is as attractive for them. So this is something that I have to rethink and to reevaluate, and how to give more value for them to start sharing. So, for instance, Ramsey, since 1 month ago, I am publishing daily in LinkedIn, small posts. And even when the people is seeing the publication, there is few interaction. So step by step, I think we will be able to improve this collaboration and this interaction from the pre-sales community, but it's still a bit far away at this moment.
Right. So I've noticed something, and that's just my theory. I don't have any concrete answers, but a lot of SEs, many SEs, not all, are introverts, right? And we like to figure stuff out on our own. And like for me, it was very hard to post on LinkedIn. It took me a while to get used to doing that, and now it's easy. But I had a reason to post, like We the Sales Engineers, and before that, I didn't interact with anyone on LinkedIn. Especially when I start thinking to myself, like, I have nothing to share. So I feel a lot of SEs think they already know everything they need to know, and they don't like being out there. If we wanted to be out there, we'd probably be in sales.
All right.
So maybe these are some reasons.
Yeah, maybe this is, but I'm not losing the faith. I have the idea that someday the people will start interacting, and if they don't interact, but my posts help them in any way, I'm happy with that. So
Yeah.
the only thing is that I think we can do a lot of things together, and to do that we need to be a real community. So if not, I will keep posting. I will keep trying to give value to the others, and if they find something valuable, more than happy.
So one thing, so I'm talking to another gentleman who's in the same boat. Like he wants to post, but he's not posting because, well, I don't know much, and two, no one's commenting on my posts. And the discussion ended up as being, if you're helping one person, which is exactly what you just said, if you're helping one person, then the post had value. If you're making one person think about something, if you're giving inspiration for a thought, your post had value. Hopefully, with time, people will start commenting more, and maybe you and I can brainstorm after, like what we can do together to improve that. I'll be happy.
Sure. We can give dragons uh, as a prize for the people who comments or something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, we can figure that out. Let's brainstorm that. But so you've been in pre-sales basically. That means for a while, since 2015, 2017.
Yeah, I think more or less 10 years because, well, officially, see, I joined Axway, well, I don't remember when, 7, 8 years ago or 9 years ago, I don't remember. But previously, as I told you, I was working as pre-sales without knowing that I was working as pre-sales. But you notice that once you become and you start understanding, okay, that the stuff that I was doing before is exactly being pre-sales.
Right. Yeah, but you were mentioning that you were struggling. Like your SE manager left. Right? Your salesperson was good, but he was giving you some tips when it comes to sales. How did you end up learning pre-sales?
Well, at the end, fortunately, in Axway, we were not only in Spain. We had an EMEA team, and the way to start improving your skill is to ask for information, ask for feedback for sure, ask for, okay, let me know how do you do things, and let the people who knows more than you to help you and to guide you. So I always I have a strong figure and a strong belief in that is, okay, you have to rely on your mentors, on people who he's doing a mentorship with you. There is a something that is said in Spain, that is I prefer to pay for my mentors than for my mistakes. So the way is that, let us, you don't know everything, it's impossible, so you have to be have more humility and start learning. And this is something that I think that define us as pre-sales. So we are always wanting to learn more and to know more and to investigate how improve the way that we do the things. So that's why I was able to start doing in a way that allows me to improve my skills. And you were mentioning before something about Rob. First of all, I don't know, never pronounce the surname well from Demonstrated to Win. And the first training that I received was Demonstrating to Win when I was in Axway, and was Don Carmichael, sorry, was the person who was developing that, and that opened me a lot of opened the scope about, okay, there is a huge scope here that we can improve, or I can improve to become a better pre-sales. And during years, I have been following the tell show tell strategy when demonstrating to customer. Then I started to understand and to discover all the training programs, all the methodologies, and all the capabilities to improve. So once you start in the loop, slowly, but you guys start finding some resources that are valuable for you.
Yeah. I was doing Tell Show Tell, and I recently modified it to Tell Show Ask. I found that working better for me personally. But all right, so you did that training, and after that you were good at SE. But you've been doing that for 7 years after as well. what are the skills that you focused on learning initially, and what are the skills you're focused on learning today?
Initially, I think all the presale think the same, that we should be excellent in technology, in the technology that our company is selling. And just to be fair, it's important. It's important to understand what your company sells. It's important to understand technically how the things are done, but it's not mandatory at all. So I move from, okay, I need to be a product expert, and start becoming, okay, I need to be a solution expert for my customer needs. So the skills that I have been working and still working on that day after day is, okay, I need to be able to listen, but not only here, not only here, but listen carefully what the customer wants to have. I need to communicate better what I want to say, and I have to negotiate, or at least being able to understand how the purchase, the sales is done. So because for us as pre-sales, it's important to understand that we are here to sell. So we need that our company sells product to the customer, but only the products that the customer needs. And this is something happened to me when I was working on X-Ray, or the episode, wonderful episode that I found myself alone, not without sales engineer manager, but suddenly the company, the sales account team leave the company. I was only with the country manager, and suddenly the country manager comes and say, okay, I need to leave you for 6 weeks because I'm going to go to the hospital. So you are going to be alone for 6 weeks. That 6 weeks at the end were 6 months. So, and I was by myself doing all the stuff, not only pre-sales, but sales. And it helped me a lot to understand how difficult it's also for the salespeople to do their job.
Yeah. I mean, that's a common thing, right? Every SE thinks they can do the sales job better, because what they see is in meetings when the salesperson is usually silent and the SE is doing most of the talking or questioning. It's like, why is that salesperson here?
Yeah, no. At the end of the day, when I was saying, okay, you are going to become also the salesperson, the first question, okay, where is my Porsche? So, but it doesn't come so fast. No, but
only in Germany they give it up
for sure. Maybe I was in the wrong country. So, but the thing is that what I understood is that the relationship with the customer is the most important thing, not only for sales, but also for pre-sales. So we had a huge customer in Spain that I was knowing him as pre-sale, and he was, we had a very, very good relationship when I was working as pre-sales. But when he noticed that I was also the sales guy, the relationship started to change. And I went there and say, okay, I don't know, I don't understand what is happening, because our relationship was not in that way. And what I told him is, I need you to explain me what have changed and what you expect from me. And I think, Ramsey, it has been the best question I have ever met to a customer.
Okay, I'm gonna pause here for a second. When you say, like, when they noticed you're now in sales, the relationship changed. How did it change?
Well, the relationship was coldest than when working as pre-sales, and it was not so fluent when discussing about topics. And I think it's something that people understand that, okay, this is now a salesperson, and maybe he want to oversell, or he's lying to me, or I don't know what. But the real thing is that we as pre-sales has not been so as the salespeople. So when acting as pre-sales, when going to a customer as pre-sale, the customer used to treat you with more confidence. They trust you just for the title that you have in the car. And it's important to keep this trust and to keep this relationship with the customer. And with this customer that changed their way, at the end, what I told him is, I am the same person. So I am not another person. And And it's important to understand, Ramsey, that the customer are people. So sometimes we saw the customer as entities. No, are people, are normal people like you and me that needs that have a problem and needs this problem to be solved. So, and this is the important thing. If you are able to to start this trust relationship, but a real relationship, not something that you are only for selling. At the end of the day, you need this confidence with the customer. So in many articles, I always say that I saw pre-sales not a trusted advisor, not as a seller, but confidence generators, because we need this confidence together to do our job.
Confidence generators.
I think I'm going to register this topic and to write a book about confidence generators.
I already got it. I wrote it down. It's mine now. But that's so interesting. I ran into the same situation where my salesperson got promoted, and they wanted to hire a salesperson, and it took them a long time. So I was doing both. And friends of mine, like people, because I used to work for a company, and then I left it and became their SE, like selling into that company. And friends of mine stopped talking to me because I was asking about POs. Like, hey, when's this PO coming? But then when we did, but now I'm selling back into them. I'm their salesperson, and the relationship has changed because I built that trust again. I had to rebuild that trust. So I love that you said that. Wow, because I saw exactly that. That's 100% the same experience that I had, where they trusted me and then they didn't. They used to message me to go out for lunch, and then they stopped answering my calls.
Exactly. So even so, this customer, the relationship that we had is that even I was asking for the health of his family, because I know from conversations that his mother was not so good, and suddenly I was asking just as a real interest to, okay, how is your mother? It's everything okay? Silence.
Yeah, that happens. And it's something you said, like you learned that initially you thought you were supposed to be a product expert, and then you learned that you have to be a product expert helping your customers solve a problem. That's not what you said.
More or less, yeah.
More or less. And like recently, I started thinking that SEs should be customer experts.
Yeah, I fully agree. And the thing is that some salespeople still don't understand that we have not the power to close a deal. So we are salespeople. We are not closing deals. The customer is closing the deals. So it's impossible that you can call a customer 100 times. If they are not ready to close the deal, the deal is not going to be closed.
And they only close if you solve the problem.
Exactly. So I think I have only once received a call from a customer saying, okay, Alvaro, send me a PO for this amount. Only once in my life. It was end of the year. They have budget that they have to spend, and they call me and say, okay, we need that. Okay. There is one on my whole life.
So like I feel like my journey is parallel to your journey, just in different countries. Because initially when I was an SE, what I learned was to offer my customer all the different products that we have, and then they solve their problems by picking whichever product that they want. And soon I learned, but if the competitor is doing the same thing, then they can pick from here or from there. It doesn't make a difference. Even worse, if the competitor is being consultative, then they're going to pick them. So I learned, all right, now we have to help them solve a problem. And when you solve a problem, you build trust.
So, and something that has helped me a lot to focus on that approach is, I have been talking before about demonstrating to win, but something that has helped me a lot to focus exactly on that is the read demo methodology. Because at the end, what you learn when doing that is that you are not the important thing. The capabilities of your product doesn't matter to the customer if they don't solve an issue for them. So you were asking me before, okay, what are you been improving? What skill are you been improving? And at the end, the most important skill is being able to ask questions, not to answer questions. And I think you told me once that we are how do you say, we are, yeah,
Public
exactly.
askers, not public.
You told once, and I have wrote down here in the notebooks, because at the end is what we have to do. So we need to understand what our customer need, and not only that, but also understand how they are or where they are in the buying cycle. Because for sure, working as an SE in a company, no, a lot of companies or they start explaining, okay, this is our sales cycle. So you have to go. This is the sales cycle you have to follow to close deal, and you make the assessment. You understand the customer. You design a solution. Then you have to prove the solution that you are going to try to sell to the customer. And then comes okay, you need to justify, to negotiate, and at the end of the day, you implement the solution. So that's the sales cycle, and it's okay that we have a sales cycle in any company. But the problem is that we don't understand the buying cycle of the company, of the customer. Sorry. So
Buying cycle is not.
yeah, and the first time that I noticed and I start talking about the sales cycle, the buying cycle, the people was looking at me saying, what are you saying? Buying cycle? There's nothing to see with that. And at the end, what we have to do is to map our buying cycle with map or sales cycle with the buying cycle of the customer. And it has more or less the same phases. The first thing is that the customer needs to understand what is the need. Then they have to double check the feasibility of the need. And then they start with the project, evaluate the different options, took the decision, and then it comes the wonderful things about approvals and all of the stuff. And when all of this is done, then the customer is able to close the deal. But it's always the customer. It's not us.
So the big difference between the sales cycle and the buying cycle is when we're doing the sales cycle with a customer, it's the sales cycle with that one customer. Whereas the buying cycle, if they're doing a buying cycle properly, they're doing a buying cycle with 3 vendors at the same time. And we're in a hurry to close. Always, every salesperson is always in a hurry to close the deal. The customer is not.
No,
right? The customer has to do the POC with us, has to do the POC with the competitor. Maybe skip the third one, but that's their choice. And
so our job is to make them easy to move from one phase to another, and be with them and try for sure to be the selected one. But our job is, okay, you are in this phase. Let me help you to move to the following one. But it's the only thing that we can do because they have to take the decision.
So, you mentioned the methodology. Can you repeat
what
that was?
From Peter Cohen. So this
okay, great demo. Yeah. So you're saying a lot of things, and the objection that I'm hearing in my own head that I'm hearing other people say is what you're talking about is a sales role, not an SE role or a pre-sales role. What would your answer be to that?
The thing is that if you take the name of pre-sales, sales is bigger than pre. So at the end is I told you at the beginning, our job is to help our salespeople to close deals. So we need to understand how the close can be closed. How the deals can be closed, how the sales process is made, just to understand what the questions to ask to our customer to be able to map with the buying cycle. So we are salespeople, even when we have this small sense of we are not salespeople. We are product people. We know development. We hate to be salespeople, but at the end we are selling all the time.
So here's the thing that I like when I hear that. I agree with you. When I hear that, I think sales, the sales team's job is to help customers make decisions. Right? The SE's job is to help them make decisions from a technical perspective / commercial, and the salesperson's job is to help them make it from a commercial perspective or timeline or whatever it is. But these, like, we're basically doing the same thing, just with a different set of tools. The salespeople are very technical when it comes to this, like the commercial side of it. Like, how do we create a quote? How do we put this proposal together so that we can get the customer the best proposal that we can get? Whereas the SE's tools are more technical, like the product based. But we're both solving a problem, and if we can't solve a problem, we can't help the customer make a decision. If we can't help the customer make a decision, they're not going to. Like, the decision will be to do nothing, and that's our biggest competitor.
Exactly. And you're right. And let me put a real example. When I was working after Axway, I was working for Splunk for a time. And with Splunk, we had exactly this problem with a customer. So we were going to meetings to do demos, to start convincing them. And the sales guy was coming with me to the opportunities. And one day I told him, okay, you're not going to come with me to this session. What we need is that the people who is taking the decision, you involve him in a session only with you and understand what are the problems that they have to move the opportunity. And let me work with the technical people to solve their issues, to solve their question, to understand what fears they could have. But you have to focus on the business part. And we have to act as a team. So, and each of us have to do what we know how to do. So, and I am always looking, and you mentioned before about the movies, and so always looking for examples in movies that represents this true relationship. And the best one that I have found is that we are like Han Solo and Chewbacca. So Han Solo is the salesperson, and we are Chewbacca. So because Han Solo it's open, it's brave, it has this kind of feeling that this guy is or this person is something special. But at the end, he needs the help of Chewbacca to get all the controls from the Millennium Falcon and go to the hypervelocity. So, and this is a team sport. So nothing is going to work if you go only to convince the technical people, because they don't have the power or don't used to have the power to close the deals. And nothing is going to happen if you go only to the business people, because they need the confirmation from technical people that everything is on the right place. So
yeah, I mean, the same way we kind of have to help people make decisions with technical versus commercial. The engineers are making the technical decisions. The users are making the technical decisions. Someone else is doing the commercial decisions, but it's all part of the sales.
Exactly.
I don't know if I like being called Chewbacca.
Chewbacca has in fact, I have a Chewbacca here in my desktop all the time. So I am a huge fan of Star Wars. So I don't know if all the presales are as freaky as mine, but I used to play Star Wars very often at home. So and yes, if you see Chewbacca in the films, he's always the helping hand of Han Solo.
Yeah. And did you feel like when you told your account manager, you go talk to the business people and I'll talk to the engineer, how did that conversation flow better for you?
Well, I have to say that time after time, I'm feeling more and more comfortable talking directly to business people, because to be fair, I am moving not so fast, but slowly. I'm moving away from the technical part. I don't understand, because as I know, the things are changing so fast. So sometimes we are not able to understand everything that is happening on the technical side. So I feel comfortable asking customers what are the problems. Okay, I told you that he was going to come. So it's here. Coge otro. Coge otro. Vale, coge otro. So he's saying that technical issues. the the button
You
is
want?
not
I
working.
can pause it. I can
No,
pause
no,
it
no
if you want
worries.
to go.
He is going to get another one.
He'll engineer it. He'll figure it out. But so again, I think sales people should be able to talk to engineers, and sales engineers should be able
Yeah.
to talk to business people, because we translate, right? We translate the technical into business, generally speaking. So
No, and lastly, Ramsey, I don't know if you know, but the position of the sales engineer slash solution consultants slash what pre-sales slash whatever, as we know how to solve the problems, and the last stage is that we know more than others how to translate this to business. So because we understand what
yes,
is happening and we understand how we can solve. So the last stage in our role is, okay, know that we know how the things are working, know that we know all how we can solve the issues. We need to move this and convince the business people that this is the solution because we are able to solve the business issue that they have.
yeah, and we're solving. Here's something else that I've learned: we're not solving one issue, because the issue for you might be different than the issue for another engineer. Might be different from the issue from. So basically, I think that's what we're part of the conversation. How it started is that we have to understand the customer,
Yeah,
right? And we have to understand the customer, and if we don't understand each part, each
exactly.
individual within the customer chain, we might be selling to one person very well, but we might be alienating another
Exactly.
person. Like, let's say we're talking to a workaholic, and then we're talking to a father or a mother who needs to be home early. If all I'm focusing is on like, hey, this will get you home faster, whatever, the alcoholic did not care
Exactly.
whatsoever. The workaholic, not alcoholic, workaholic, did not care any about that at all. So yeah, no,
No,
I
and
love
you're
that.
right. That is the one of the mistakes that or the problems that I have found in my career is that when I was working or I have to go for a meeting or for a demo or whatever with the customer, sometimes the people who should be attending the session because the demo was prepared for solve any issue or because of any request was not in the session and the presentation was made for other people, and then there was
Yeah,
an understanding what we were doing. So one important thing, and this is something that I have always asked to my sales counterpart is, okay, I am going to develop the best demo I can, but I need you to confirm who is going to be in the session and what are the problems they want to solve. So,
yeah,
and as I was mentioning before, if we play this team sport, if we play together this, we are going to be able at least to be memorable on the mind of our customers.
yeah. So something funny happened to that where my SE, so I'm the salesperson now and I have an SE. He set up a demo with a customer, right? And then it was the last week of the quarter. I think we shouldn't schedule demos the last week of the quarter. We had some POCs going on with other places that were failing miserably due to technical issues, hardware failure. Um, and when we jump on the demo, and my SE just starts, he opens up the UI and starts talking about the UI. I'm like, wait, where's the slide to set the expectation? Where? So it's like, maybe we should have done a dry run. And then one guy pops up and says, "Sorry, I just got the invite 2 seconds ago. Why are
Yeah,
we here?"
exactly. So sometimes this happens, or just the luego. Uh, or so, or when
That's like,
suddenly you are enjoying your day doing some stuff and suddenly a message on Teams or a Slack appears, hey, how are you doing, can you join a session that is already running?
yeah,
Come on.
yeah. The answer is
Yeah,
no.
the
It's like,
answer should be no, but then you start receiving messages from the managers and so, okay, Alvaro, you have to connect. And that's the
well,
problem.
well, I've learned through that. Like, every situation is
Yeah.
different. Sometimes you might have to jump on, but I've learned initially to, like, once I build a relationship with my account managers,
that it might be best not to have that and have it rushed, and it's in the customer's best interest to not do it and have more touch points. So there's a benefit to not doing that, but I think that's a different
No,
story that we can.
but the good thing
delve.
is that I have been able to make this request useful, because what I do is, okay, if they are asking me to join a session in the last minute, or even when the session is already running, is because the customer is asking for something that they don't know, that my sales counterparts don't know. So it's the perfect timing for a discovery. So I used to join. Okay, what do you want to see? And then what I used to do is to start a discovery session, trying to understand. And at the end, maybe I don't show the software or whatever. It's only a discovery session, but allows us to understand. So the first.
Oh, that's best case scenario, because I've been in situations where, hey Ramsey, can you come in and show this product that you haven't touched in 3 months? So at that point, it's like no. But if it's a discovery call, it's always nerve wracking, right? Because you don't know where you haven't prepared, you don't know anything about the customer, but sometimes you just have to do what you're.
And we are always discovering in Ramsey. There is always something new to discover, or there is always someone new in the call that needs a new approach or something like that. So, but you're right. Sometimes you have to go do your stuff the best you can. This is the capability that they told me you want to see. So, and okay, it's going to be solving some for you. Yes, no, silence. Okay.
But I think this is where the sales skills come in handy, because when you do a discovery call, it's not always about speeds and feeds and like how many users and that sort of thing. It's why are we here? Like John just messaged me to jump in quick. Why the hurry? Right? Okay, so now we have other information to capture. I'm seeing here you're not a sales engineer right now.
Well, are you looking at LinkedIn?
Yeah, LinkedIn.
Well, now my role is Associate Sales Engineer Director.
What does that mean?
I am sales engineer. But with a fancy name.
Okay. Why?
Well, just to be, this is a long story. I will try to do as short as possible. So the idea was that I was entered the company as Associate Sales Engineer Director, because one of my expectations or my desires is to grow and to manage a team. So we agreed to join as this with this role to start learning about the management role and so and so. And in a few years or a few time, move to management. So the problem is that, as you know, the teams are not growing at all. So a lot of because of the macroeconomic environment. So I have yet associate sales engineer director, but I am not directing anyone else, so only myself. So I hope in the near future I can move to sales engineer director or sales engineer manager. And if not, I will be happy being a sales engineer. And in the other hand, what I am trying to do is to improve the knowledge of pre-sales, improve the skills of pre-sales, just to let them or make them available to close more deals. So I was mentioning before the grid demo methodology. I was able to certify as a practitioner, as a facilitator. So I am executing or making workshops in Spanish for grid demo workshop in Spanish here in Spain. Just to not only about grid demo, but also in other skills, because my point is that being pre-sales, we need to understand four big areas. The first one is we need to know how to make a good discovery. So we need to make the right understand how to make the right questions and to understand the customer. And so the second skill is demo, because mainly our job is to develop great demos in this case. And there are other two that are not so clear, and I used to call them professional skills. Some other call soft skills, but I prefer to call them professional skills. And one of them is communication, because I think it's mandatory to understand how to communicate in a good way, just to let the other understand what you're saying. And the last one is know how to sell. So, and we have been discussing about this during the whole hour. We need to understand how a sales is done, what involves when and what involves who is involved in that, and it's something that when we start as sales engineer, is hardly to understand or hardly to be to know how it is working in the different companies.
Yeah, I like that. Well, I would add one more area: relationship.
Yeah. Fully agree.
Well, I think it's part of like the human skills or soft skills, so professional skills. All right, Alvaro. Did I?
Yeah,
Alvaro.
Yeah,
This is right. I'm saying. We're about to jump into the not so fire round, but before we get there, was there a question you were hoping I was going to ask you, but I didn't?
Okay.
Is there a topic that you wanted to talk about that I forgot to ask you about?
Well, I think the topic, and you slightly move about over this, and you told before the no decision topic. That is, and
Yeah.
I saw today that Gartner has published that 51% of the opportunities goes to no decision, and
Yeah.
it's huge. It's a huge number, and I think it gives us the approach to understand that doesn't matter how good is your product, doesn't matter how many years you have been working as pre-sale or sales. If you don't understand the customer is going to prefer to not move. So
unless there's something forcing them. So one of the questions I ask and I teach my clients to ask is, what would happen if you don't do anything?
Exactly.
Usually it's like, nothing. It's like, all right,
no, there is I don't know where I read an example about, no, we are using Excel files. We have been using Excel files for years. It's a nightmare. Do you want to change? Well, no.
Yeah. Well, the pain of changing sometimes is bigger than the pain of staying. Right? That's kind of what as SEs and sales teams we have to figure out. What is the driver? All right. Not so fire round. These are the same 4 questions I ask almost every guest, and I think you might know them, considering you've been listening to the podcast for a while, which I appreciate. So, starting with question number 1, what do you love about sales engineering?
What I love about sales engineer is that we are able, first, meet a lot of people. Second, we can know how to solve problems for a lot of people. And the third is that we are aiming to have the Porsche from the sales account people.
Okay, good. I like that. All right, question number 2 is, what do you consider is your superpower?
I think I am very good communicating.
Okay.
More than other thing. And my superpower is that for the people who I work with, being my sales counterpart or being my customer, I am trustable.
Okay. That's good. I like that. Question, you're trustworthy. Isn't that what we want? Like, I guess you answered that question at the start. You are Jon Snow.
Yeah, I'm Jon Snow, you know.
Question number 3. Is there a book or resource that you'd recommend for people? You already mentioned Demo to Win and Great Demo. Is there anything else that you would recommend people to read?
I strongly recommend Great Demo. But there is a lot of good stuff in the market already. Fortunately, day after day we are having more and more resources available. We can talk about mastering the technical sales. We can talk about the social sales engineer from Patrick. We can talk, but the 2 ones that have helped me more to understand how the things should be or how I can improve how I do the things are Grid Demo and Doing Discovery, the 2 of them of Peter Cohen, and also Demonstrating to Win from first wall.
Right.
Sorry, I'm not able to.
It's been a while. I had him on the podcast. That's why I had to learn it. All right. The last question of the Not So Fire on Alvaro. Is there a habit you're working on today to improve in your personal or professional life?
Well, what I am doing to improve is first try to maintain a happy lifestyle. So I think we are here to be happy, not to be sad, not to be anxious. So we are here to be happy. It's difficult sometimes, for sure. But I think is when you find someone that is happy, that finds funny the things that you were, that always give you a smile, is something that it's truly appreciable, at least for me. So what I recommend to the whole people is try to be as happy as possible, and try every day to be a bit happier than yesterday. So this is the main skill that I think we need to improve nowadays.
How are you working on that to improve?
Well, it's not easy, but what I try to do is to, instead of being angry for everything that is happening, for instance, one request that is coming from in the last minute from a sales counterpart or whatever, trying to put in his position, trying to be empathetic with him or with her, and understand that they are also suffering, or they need really our help. They are not. I prefer to think that everyone is a good person. The thing is that maybe I'm so ingenious in this case, or so naive, but what I do is, okay, if this person is asking me to do some stuff that I don't want to do, at least try to think why he's doing. Um, when you think, and when you put in the shoes of the other person, you have another perspective, and then, okay, that's it.
Yeah. I was talking to another account manager on my team, and he's upset that the customer is not answering him. And like, so we're talking about like the customer could just simply say we're no longer interested. Like, all right, now think of it from their position. How many times have they sent that message to a salesperson, and then the salesperson kept bombarding
Yeah.
them about how come you're not interested, right? So that, like, putting yourself in the other person's shoes is such an SE thing to
Yeah.
do anyways, because that's how you talk to people. You talk to people by understanding them. So that's a great feedback and a great piece of advice that you're giving.
Exactly.
Yeah. If people want to connect with you, where can they do
If
that?
people want to connect with me, I am very active on LinkedIn, so they can follow me on Alvaro Toscano in LinkedIn, or they can visit also alvarotoscano.es, that is my personal webpage, or they can also visit the Mejor Preventas, that it's better presales in Spanish, mejorpreventas.es. That is where I am building the training of these 4 huge skills that I mentioned before, that I need to add one more that you mentioned, that is the relationship, for the pre-sales. But in LinkedIn, I am always so active, so happy to answer anyone that has any question over there.
All right. Well, I'll leave a link to all these things on the show notes.
Okay.
This is show 305. Alvaro, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate your time. And I think with that, we can sign off.
Thank you so much. I have to go to kill some white walkers. So, and now, thank you so much, Ramsey, for your time. It's a pleasure for me to be in your podcast. And so my son is asking for help. So again, thank you so much for your time. You are how do we say, a light in the SE world. And just to be fair, you were the first podcast for SE that I start following. Very appreciate. You inspired me to start my own blog. So thank you so much. It's a honor to be here.
It's my pleasure, and I'm happy to have you here. And I just wish I was able to ask you about the guitar.
Well, you didn't ask because I was formerly I was a guitar player, so I was not I didn't become as rich and famous as needed. So I need to work as a C. So
Fair enough. Anyway, we'll talk soon.
Talk to you soon. Thank you so much, Ramsey. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.
And that's the end of the show. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you Alvaro for coming on and sharing your expertise, taking time away from your family. I really enjoyed this conversation because a lot of things clicked with me. Like he was saying things that I have faced, and even though we're in two separate continents, we speak two separate languages. Well, he speaks English, I don't speak Spanish, but a lot of things are similar. Doesn't matter where you are, it's just similar because of situations. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed how he overcame that, how he used his mentors within the company and outside the company, and how he learned. What have you learned? What are the struggles that you faced as an SE beyond just doing a demo? Right? A demo is a symptom of doing a good demo is a symptom of doing a great job beforehand. So what were your struggles? I'd love to know. I'd love to hear that. And with that, I'm signing off.